Today's first restoration is set to challenge the barn's mechanical mastermind, David Burville.
What have you got me here?
Have a look.
Oh, wow. God, that is incredible, isn't it?
It's unbelievable.
1866. That's some work in that.
There's a lot of work.
Father and daughter, John and Jo Reynolds, are the proud owners of this Victorian wonder.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good, thank you.
All right.
Absolutely fine, thank you.
So this is yours, yeah?
It is.
What is this?
So this is Uncle Bob's box of tricks. It's a wooden automaton.
Okay.
And it's got 12 wooden figures.
Yeah.
They're tradesmen, so they're doing their crafts and their trades. And as you turn the handle,
Yeah.
they're supposed to move.
As you turn this,
They move.
you'll see
Move about.
only two of them at present.
Who made it?
It was my grandfather's uncle, Uncle Bob, and at about the time he made this, he was quarantined through smallpox.
Quarantined.
Yeah.
Certainly he started it when he was quarantined.
Okay.
He wanted something to do, and this is what he'd produced.
Was he a carpenter? What was his job?
He was just a farm labourer.
Really?
Wow.
And family legend has it, he
Yeah.
taught himself to carve this.
So he taught himself how to do this whilst he was in
We
quarantine?
believe so.
Wow.
We also believe it was just done with a penknife.
No.
We don't know for sure.
To build something like this with that level of complexity and so many different types of skills, the geometry and the mechanics in order to get that all to work, he was a clever man.
Which is why we're so proud of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So he made this, and then he got better.
Yep.
And then what happened to this after?
My grandfather lived with him, and they used to take it round to church fetes and used to demonstrate it. It would have been taken over by my grandfather, and then ultimately it came to me.
In that time, has it been working or has it not been working?
As a young lad of 4 or 5, at that time, most of the figures would have worked.
OK.
It would have been brought out at Christmas time or something and sort of put up and say, look, this is Uncle Bob's box of tricks.
So would you get excited?
Excitement is an overused word sometimes.
He doesn't get excited.
He doesn't get excited. I can see that. Right.
Interested, yes, because obviously there are some there
Yeah.
that you wouldn't have seen before. You wouldn't have seen a brickmaker.
No.
But it's obviously deteriorated over time. And some of the bits and pieces become detached where the glue has degraded. As far as the mechanics of it and the actual figures and bits and pieces concerned, it would be nice if that could work again.
Yeah.
It would require the belt at the end and the handle to turn it.
All right. No problem. I tell you what, thank you for bringing this in. It's a real joy, and I can't wait to see it working.
Absolutely.
I might actually
You might
Oh,
get excited.
show a bit of
Yeah?
excitement.
It might show a bit of
You
excitement.
might get excited.
Wow. Steady on that. All right. All right, you guys take care now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks ever so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye. Well, I have to say, John and Jo's automaton is absolutely amazing. I find it fascinating, but scary at the same time. Great Uncle Bob has really captured a moment in time. All the different skills that you see here, a lot of them really no longer exist. This is before cameras, and this is a moving scene of that period of time, which is just incredible. Unfortunately, a lot of the mechanism is actually activated by little pieces of thread, and that's natural fibre which has broken down over the years. So I've got a lot of work actually replacing these threads and making sure that the mechanical part underneath is running as freely as possible. It should have had a crank handle on the side, so I'm going to have to come up with some sort of design for reinstalling that. First things first, I'm going to give this a really good clean, work out where everything goes, and then we can get onto the mechanism.
Outside, Helen Fernandez has arrived from southeast London with a family treasure for the attention of ceramics expert Kirsten Ramsay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Kirsten. What have you brought?
Well, I've got here these little French doves,
Oh, isn't that lovely?
and they're from Vallauris in the south of France,
Beautiful.
known in the family as the Picasso doves.
Interesting. What's the story there?
My grandfather spent a lot of time in France in the war, and he knew the south of France particularly very well. It's a favourite spot of his. And in the early 50s, he took my grandmother on a holiday there, and they were looking at some of the shops, and she saw these, so she chose them. I think they caught my grandmother's eye, so he bought them for her.
Oh, how sweet.
And it just happened to be the time when Picasso would have been living there and working there.
Right, actually, at the time
in
they were there.
Vallauris, yes. And there is a story that to help the economy recover after the war, he allowed the potters and the ceramic artists there to use some of his designs.
Oh, interesting.
So it could be possible that these are based on Picasso's own designs.
Wow.
Yeah, so-
What a lovely story, isn't it?
It is lovely. They're very simple, but they are absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Were they interested in the arts and ceramics?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, my granddad was he did love art very much, but my grandmother, she passed away in 1961 with cancer. So that was before I was born, so I never got to meet her. So for me, this is something that belonged to her, so I've still got that connection with her. And there's something I love as well.
Do you remember seeing these when you were a child?
Oh, yes. I mean, they're some of my earliest memories. For years, they were in my granddad's house. And as a child, I was just fascinated by them. And I just thought they were beautiful then.
Yeah.
So when he passed away, they came to my mum. So I think it's something she kept very sort of close to her heart. Somewhere along the line, I'm not sure where, but they got very badly damaged. You can see there's cracking around the side of that one. And it's gone across the tail there. And this little one, also, he's lost the end of his tail. I did joke with my mum saying, you really need to get those repaired at some point. And sadly, she passed away a couple of years ago. So this is my way, really, of doing this for her, and that link to my grandmother as well. So it'd be lovely to see them as they were when Mum and her mother both first saw them.
Absolutely. I'm curious to know who's repaired these previously.
It was my granddad. He was good at fixing many things, but unfortunately ceramics wasn't his forte, as you can see.
I don't know. The pieces are still there.
He had a go.
Well, thank you so much for bringing these in. I cannot wait to start.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
These doves are absolutely beautiful. They've got this really tactile quality. You can almost feel where the maker has scooped the clay out and pulled that shape. I can't stop touching them. They're so lovely. Helen really wanted these to look like the day her grandmother spotted them in the shop window. And there's a lot of old restoration here. It looks quite unsightly, and that's really because the adhesive that has been used has discoloured over time. I'm sure when Helen's grandfather put this back together, it probably looked an awful lot better than it does now. I need to take this old restoration apart, get them cleaned up, rebond them, and then retouch and fill. I'm just applying paint stripper to the break edges and onto the old adhesive to penetrate down into those cracks and start to soften the adhesive. And wrap tin foil around the dove to contain the paint stripper and to enable it to remain active for longer.
going to use my hot glue for gluing back the individual pieces. I'm putting in the most obvious pieces first. For example, this is the little forge which the blacksmith would use. The problem is that as I work my way through the obvious ones, I've then got to try and determine where all the miscellaneous ones go. I'm really having to use the little glue marks and the shadows and bits of paint that have been pulled off to actually try and determine what went where. Well, that's the top section done. I must say that adding all of those little loose bits has made the scenes look so much more busy. So I'm going to carry on with the lower deck and then we can leave it to dry for a little while. I'm now in the back of the automaton. I'm working on the upper camshaft. It's literally a wooden rod and it's got little bits of wood that stick out at strategic points, and when that turns, the little piece of wood comes round against a lever attached to a little piece of thread, which then goes up to all the little figures and then works the animations. The thread runs over these little wooden rollers. A lot of these little wheels have seized up due to the wire rusting inside them. You see how rusty it is? Well, that's managed to get the remains of the old pin out. Because it's rusted away so badly, there is no way that that's ever going to be saved. So now what I can do is actually make a new axle, and I'm just using some thin wire. I can bend this so it's just like a giant staple, really. And now I should be able to actually feed that in. So that roller's working really nicely. That will allow the thread to pass over it and actually stop the thread from wearing too badly. I've just got 2 or 3 more to do, and then I can actually tackle the stringing, and then we can get these tradesmen actually working. I think they've been on tea break for far too long. I've now managed to get rid of all of the old thread that was linking the mechanism to the little figures, and I'm now going to start re-threading. I'm actually using a really nice strong nylon. This should last for decades, hopefully. The tricky bit is they're not the easiest of things to thread. Trying to get it through the tiny little holes that it has to go through. The thread is attached to the little guy's arm, but then it has to go through these little holes in the wall, which then send it down towards the mechanism. I'm having to be mindful of the positions of not only this little chap's arm, but the lever that's activated by the cam. I need his arm in the furthest most position, and that means that this lever has got to be in its highest position, so that as the cam comes round, it then pulls that down, pulling his arm back. Then the second cam is the one that actually returns his arm. In theory, as the camshaft turns, one cam operates this direction, then the next cam operates that direction, thus giving him the motion and making it look like he's actually stitching that lovely piece of cloth. It's genius, absolute genius. But I've still got another 11 figures to go, so I better press on.
The next visitor is Welshman Kerry Davies from the Gower. He's brought a souvenir of a once prolific industry that transformed the fortunes and landscape of industrial Wales.
Hello, how you doing?
Good morning.
What have we got in the box?
It's a miner's helmet that is made from compressed paper.
That's made of paper. Angelina, do you mind joining us?
Paper conservator Angelina Bacalaru has got her work cut out.
Oh, wow.
It's in quite a state, isn't it? Belongs to my grandfather, born in 1909, and my mother found this in the shed at the bottom of the garden a couple of years ago.
So, grandfather's name? What's his name?
Ivor Guy.
And how old was he when he started working down in the mines?
He was 14.
14?
14 years of age. He worked in, well, several collieries in the area, but he was mining for 51 years.
Whoa. Going to work at 14 in a place like the mines, that's proper dangerous, isn't it?
It's dangerous, yeah. But I suppose choices were limited, so I think what my grandfather did resembles what lots and lots of men did back then.
Did you ever meet your grandfather?
Yes, yeah. He was a good, honest, hard-working man.
Yeah.
Worked hard in the mines, and then outside the mines, he had a small holding, and he looked after cows and sheep and chickens. And I can remember, as a small lad, going down and helping him out as much as I could, especially picking up the eggs at the end of the day.
So do you know how this is supposed to look?
The interior of it has basically disappeared, so there would have been leather straps there, and there would have been a rim going around the entirety of the helmet.
And is that normal for it to just be made of, like, compressed paper? Because that doesn't seem quite strong to me. All right, I stand corrected.
It's the 1940s, I suppose health and safety didn't really apply quite as much back then.
OK. And what would you like us to do to it? How do you want it to look?
I don't want it to look brand new.
OK.
It needs to show its age, I'd like it to be made solid again, I suppose. As a teacher, I would love to take this into school and show the children. I think it's important that they understand, men did this to put food on the tables for their families. Exactly. It was a dangerous job. So I'm mighty proud of what my granddad did, and it seems fit that I should try to bring a new lease of life to it.
This looks very exciting and very challenging, I have to say. But I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, thank you for bringing it in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, you take care. Be in contact soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, mother.
That's a lot of work.
I know. It's just really, really unusual. You look at it in the beginning and you think, wow, this is leather, it's fine. But with closer look, you can really tell that this is all paper. It's an ingenious way of using materials, but oh my goodness, this looks in a state. I have broken paper all around the rim, very, very dirty paper. I can see some broken pieces of textiles that are literally disintegrating. So I want to consolidate and then repair it and just make it more stable. This looks like it's going to be a very big job for me, very, very challenging. So I'm really keen on starting cleaning this. In order to do that, I just need to remove the inner rim. The cord, I just need to be careful to slowly peel it off without damaging the paper anymore. Almost there. There we go. Okay, now it's time to vacuum.
As Angelina cleans, Kirsten is ready to see whether the paint stripper has softened the glue holding the French doves together.
Oh, I'm really pleased to see that the old adhesive has broken down and that section of the tail has come away, which is exactly what I was hoping for. I'm now going to have a look at the other dove. This one was in a lot more pieces. Ooh, well, that's amazing. That's brilliant. I'm going to see if these bits have loosened as well. Ooh, gosh, that's amazing. One bit of glue hanging on here. There we are. We'll see if this last section will come apart. Yeah, with a really small amount of pressure, that's just coming away beautifully. Now that the dove is in pieces, I can see that there's a stamp saying Vallauris, the village that Helen's grandparents visited and that Picasso worked in for several years. You can see there how much old glue had been used, and I can now just pick that away. Where I've got the bulk of the old adhesive off, I'm now starting to clean the edges using some acetone on cotton wool, and then I can consider how I'm going to bond this. These are cleaned up really quite nicely. I'm pretty confident that this is going to go together well. I've got a 2-part epoxy resin here, and I'm going to start with this lovely wing section. So I'm going to use some tape here just to pull this section together. That piece has gone in really nicely. I'm happy with the alignment, and it's really lovely to start to see this come back together. Once I've got all the pieces back together on this larger dove, I can then glue the little tail piece back onto the small dove. That is so lovely to see the doves now back whole, as Helen's grandmother would have seen them when she first spotted these. The joins feel good, it feels really strong and robust. There's just a few tiny little flaked areas and chips that are missing. So I'm going to make those up using a wood filler. It's quite a nice consistency. It's quite nice for shaping. It's also white, so that's quite a nice colour to retouch onto, especially as these doves are a white earthenware. And I'm just going to start putting the filler into that and cut back any excess, and then probably fill again, smooth it off with some sandpaper and polishing fabrics, and then I can start to retouch over the lines.
Well, I started making the crank handle for the automaton. As a homage to Great Uncle Bob, I decided the best thing to do would be to whittle a new one. That now fits nice and snugly. I'm just going to screw this knob onto it, and that will allow that to be turned. So, moment of truth. It fits in there. Well, that's working, so that's good. And then I've got a leather belt which I've made up, and then that will go on and link those two cams together. And I can't wait for John and Joe to actually see that all going. It's, I think that's going to be magic for them.
Handcrafted 156 years ago, most of the automaton's tiny tradesmen had down tools. Today, John and Joe have returned to collect their unique family heirloom.
Here they are. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good, thank you.
Very well, thank you.
So how you both feeling?
Excited. Looking forward to seeing it.
I'm hoping that David has got things working and tidied up a bit inside.
Just a bit. Do you want to see how he's done?
Yes, please.
Oh, yes.
Right, you've done a remarkable job there.
Look at that.
Bit of a difference, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. It looks cracking.
It looks
really
cracking.
does. And to quote back, yeah, I am excited by this, and it not much excites me.
He's excited, Joe.
He's excited.
Wow.
We've achieved it.
We've achieved a lot. Come on.
We really have.
Hey? Joe, do you want to give it a crack?
Gonna have a look?
Watch this, John.
As you watch it, you see things that you haven't really noticed before because you haven't seen it moving before. Like
Yeah.
The jointed arms, to think that they were probably carved out just with a knife.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine it being as good as it is now.
Right.
So thank you, David.
You're very welcome.
That really
you're
is
very welcome.
superb.
Yeah.
I've never seen it working. To actually be sitting here watching every single one of them doing what they're supposed to do, it really is incredible. We're so proud of it.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing.
It's just a window into history, really.
It really is.
And to get it out and show it to people might get John excited again.
Well, that's right, that's right.
That's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you guys for bringing us in. We'll give you a hand out to the car. Is that all right?
Thank you.
That's fine, thank you.
All right. Great. Come on in. Got it?
Yep.
After 75 years, to see it working like when it was first constructed, it's astonishing.
It's something to be incredibly proud of. Seeing it moving with all the bits, I can't help but smile.
With the Welsh mining helmet now clean, Angelina is ready to begin the delicate restoration.
What I want to do now is focus on the textile straps that would help keep the helmet on Ivor's head. I'm not going to be recreating them. I just want to preserve the ones that we have here because they are really, really fragile and they will not last. So I just want to line them. So I have a cotton tape, which is very similar to the original straps that was used. And I have a double-sided adhesive, which I just want to use to attach this on there. And I'll just heat the area on my cotton tape. So this activates the adhesive. Then I can just peel the shiny bit off. We'll use a bit of blotter right behind it to hold things together. Holding it one hand, this is like juggling this. Right, this is quite tricky. I'm not going to lie. Right, one strap down, 4 more to go, and then I can finally turn my attention to the paper.
Well, what are those? Those are like little bangers.
They're magnets, actually.
Magnets wrapped up in paper.
This is not really paper. This is called bondina, and it's a non-woven material, and it just doesn't stick to things.
So why are you using a magnet to stick something?
Right, because if I had a flat object, I would just have it down and put weights on, but I can't in this case.
So the magnets are like your fingers. They're holding it together.
Exactly, or just little clamps. In between, I have a little piece of blotter.
Yes.
So the blotter, it just absorbs any humidity. So I just have little barriers just to help keep my object safe.
I've never seen that used
I
before.
know, they look like little candy for me.
This is really, really cool.
You know, just don't swallow that.
No. So it's all under control?
So far, so good, yeah.
Good on you.
Now, I want to start with this rim. The paper is very, very dry, and everything is not really moving the way I would like it to. And I'm worried that it's going to keep cracking. So this is an ultrasonic humidifier, and it just creates this very, very fine mist. And instead of proper wetting this area, I will just be slowly reintroducing some water into it. I'm using this machine because it gives me control. If I get it too wet, I'm worried that this paper is literally going to fall apart on me, so easy does it. I'm happy with the amount of water that it has taken. I can see the paper moving a bit better. I'm just using my tweezers to just tease it into the shape that I need it to dry in. And then I'll just put a bit of blotter in between. The blotter is really absorbent, so it will just take any excess moisture off the paper. Now that I've got them sandwiched, I'm just going to be clamping it with my trusty magnets. So one tiny bit done. I'm quite happy with the way it looks, but I've got a whole other area to do, so I'd better crack on with it. The helmet has had quite a bit of time to dry now, so I just want to take off my magnets and see what we're looking at. Let's see. Ooh, so nice and flat. It does have a reminiscence of a rim now. It looks like a proper helmet. I'm really, really pleased, but I'm not really there yet. So I still need to adhere all these layers together. I've just cut a piece of Japanese tissue paper, and I'm getting ready to start building my layers and securing all these areas that are literally falling apart. What I want to do is to fit this under my first layer, like so. This is wheat starch paste. It's really strong, so I'll just go around the areas that I need to be adhered. Japanese tissue is used a lot in paper repairs. It's made by beating mulberry bushes and just making a pulp. And this is just creating this paper that is very, very long fibered, and the paper is really, really strong. Right, one layer down, about 500 more to go.
On Kirsten's bench, the cracks have all but disappeared, and the French doves are nearly ready to take flight.
So I'm trying to recreate this glazed surface. Obviously, I'm not painting onto the glaze itself because I'm just trying to paint onto the areas that I filled. So I'm covering as little of the original as I can. I want quite a dry brush, and really at this stage it's just about trying to colour match and lose that break line. Quite fiddly this, it's have to have quite a steady hand. It's amazing, once you break through those white lines it really does start to look a lot better. Once I've done that, then these two beautiful doves will be ready to go back to Helen. Here we are, flying in.
I think they're... I was going to say smashing, but they're not smashing anymore.
We don't use that word.
No, they're perfect. Helen's going to love them.
I hope so.
Three generations of Helen's family have treasured the doves. Today, Helen has returned, hoping they look as good as when her grandparents bought them.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Helen. Good to see you.
And you too.
How you feeling?
I'm really excited. I've never known them other than covered in glue and not looking very pretty.
I have to say, I've really fallen in love with these.
Yeah.
Well, you can't have them.
Look, she's ready.
I know.
Ready.
Should we do this?
Yeah, let's see them.
OK.
Come on in.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much. Oh.
Oh, bless you.
They are beautiful. I'm quite overwhelmed, actually. And they're so clean as well, because all the glue markings are gone. They're just... I can't believe it. You've worked an absolute miracle. They're beautiful.
Well, I agree. I think they are really beautiful. It's been lovely to work on them and see them coming back to how they would have been.
Thank you so much.
Great pleasure. What do you think your mum would say?
She would have been so pleased. She'd have been just so impressed with them. She really would. It's just wonderful to see them sort of brought back to life like this. It really is. It's kind of come full circle back to when they were bought.
Yeah.
Back in the 50s. I couldn't imagine that they would look like this.
Well, thank you for bringing these in.
Thank you very much. It's like a little miracle. It's wonderful.
Perfect.
Here we are. It's been an absolute pleasure, Helen.
Thank you.
You take care now.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I'll get you some, don't worry. I'll go there. They've done
Do you want
a
to
good
make
job.
me some?
They won't look like that, I'll tell you that now.
I'm feeling quite overwhelmed to see them actually in the condition they are now. It's quite magical, really. When I look at the doves, I think particularly of my mum because she did like them very much. She's no longer with us, but I'm sure she's looking down somewhere and very pleased with the doves as they are.
After hours of work, Angelina has painstakingly recreated the rim on the mining helmet, made from compressed paper.
I just managed to cut off my last repair. Everything seems to be back in shape. I've done a quick clean on the lace and conditioned and cleaned the inner rim. So I'm just going to be slowly putting it back into where it's supposed to be. And then this will be ready for Carrie to come and pick it up.
The paper mining helmet kept Kerry's grandfather safe deep underground. Today, Kerry has returned, hopeful the helmet has been preserved, in homage not just to his grandfather, but to generations of Welsh miners.
Hello, how are you?
Very good. So how you feeling?
Excited.
Yeah?
It's a really important part of my granddad's life.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see what's been done to it, and I can't wait to show it to as many people as possible.
You ready to sit?
Absolutely.
Do the honours.
That's excellent. I didn't want it to look brand new. 80-odd years old this is now, so that's important to retain the age to it. And you've done that. I would like to know how you did it. You've done a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Excellent
I'm really
job.
pleased.
What would your granddad think of you doing this?
Oh, I'm guessing he's looking down, and he'd be proud of the fact that I've recognised not just what he did, but what other miners did as well.
Well, I could see that this helmet is definitely close to your heart, and also to the social fabric of Wales.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah?
Arguably one of the most popular hymns in Wales. It's called Calon Lan, and you know, it starts off by saying, you know, I don't wish for treasures, I just want to live an honest life, which I think reflects the lives of miners who didn't have much to show for their efforts.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't profess to have the best voice in the world, but would you like me to sing to you?
Go on then.
Yeah.
Calon lan an llawn daioni, Tek a hiw na leli dlos, dim ond calon lan all cani'r dydd, a chanu'r nos.
Wow.
Thank you. That's beautiful.
That's a perfect ending. It's all yours now.
Thank you very much.
Take care now.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
I think my grandfather, I will be mighty proud of what's happened to this mining helmet. I think it looks fantastic. I can't wait to take it to school so my pupils can see it. It's real, you know, it really did experience years underground, and that's what I want people to see for themselves.